Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another Monday on Monday Practice with Reverend Jorge. I'm Reverend Jorge. I'm staff minister here at Creative Living Fellowship, and it's my honor to host and hold this space on every Monday night to explore different types of spiritual practices. When we think in spiritual practices, we normally think on meditation, prayer, yoga, mantras, and so on. Sometimes it's nice to have some other types of practice to allow us to observe, to find our limitations, to go deep in some areas that it help us to move forward, or as well as practices that are shorter that it help us to find that peace, that connection with the spirit that allow us to experience a life a more less reactive and more proactive and more sensitive and more mindful. With that, this is the idea of this space. At the same time, this space is I trying to relate it with what Reverend Sherry is exploring during the month of with the team and on the topics of every Sunday. So the thing for August is actually what I'm doing here. A very interested topic that explore really it's been explored in different ways. The overall purpose of a creative membership is what it's the purpose of ourselves and for this year. And for the last Sunday, from yesterday, the thing was the decision to act. So what I mean, Sherry was inviting everyone. It's not just about to act and take the decisions to act, but it actually go backwards a little to go a little deep and from where are you taking that decision to act from the the stories, the past, the where we call the program, the software, the beliefs, the ego system that we live, or through the decision to act from the perspective of God, from the perspective of the biggest sense of this, the being that we are here. So this was a very interesting talk last Sunday. So I really invite you to visit our website and YouTube, on Facebook, and our website and explore more deeply the talk. So from that talk, we're going to have a spiritual practice today, which is related with this to with the decision of act, which is a very mindful act. Sometimes, what is happiness is that sometimes when we are having the decision to act, normally we go into our programs or beliefs or ideas that we have already established in our minds and trying to do the same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome, like Albert Einstein will say it. And but at the same time, so we have the opportunity to choose. It's another decision to decide to, instead of listen this part of the story, to listen this voice, to listen a more quiet voice, a more loving, a gentle voice, to guide us, to direct us into a different direction, into a different actions, into a different ways. And this is where we explore it. So sometimes, as a Western culture, to stop and listening is not actually something that is well received in our decisions. So sometimes decisions are taken like this, like this, like this, and it has to be in that way. This invitation, this talk from Reverend Sherry and the practices to today is just to stop, relax, and listening, and after listening today take a decision. Sometimes the action is don't do nothing, it's just wait, or took an actions according to the guidance of a spirit. So before I go in deeper as well, another, I want to invite you also, and remind you that you can support Creative Living Fellowship in many ways, and you find very powerful these spaces, this space of exploration of practices, also like the meditations and the Sunday talks as well. I really invite you to participate by sharing your treasures by using our PayPal button, and I just wrote it in the chat, or by um, or text system that sorry, that is also in the chart show up. So you have the different ways to support us, and we very grateful for all your support and all your love that you bring us to here. So the chat as well has been very quiet. I see people connected, but normally sometimes they're very shy, and sometimes it's I know that it depends on the platform where they are. Sometimes it's difficult to participate. So I see the Reverend Sherry is sending love to all of us. So here, thank you, Reverend Sherry. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let me move this to the other side so we can see better. And so that Reverend Sherry is there. So thank you, Reverend Sherry. Welcome, and thank you for participating. So as I would say, so in this decision to act, like Reverend Sherry was explained like, yesterday Sunday, sometimes many of the with Reverend Sherry was mentioned the inability to take an action, the inability to take the decisions to act, sometimes are surrounded by many other beliefs, and these sometimes the beliefs are surrounded by fear. So, and the fear is what limited the decision to act, the decision to be mindful and to act, to be mindful to take a decision to act as well. So, we are going to explore tonight a practice called Finding Your Way from Nancy L. Beaver. I really appreciate her a lot. I had the opportunity to study with her, and she has an actually beautiful book about taking decisions from the discernment and spirit. So this is extract from that book, and it's a wonderful exercise. So this is going to be very difficult because it's kind of a a meditation space, but it's more like a journal practice. So journal practice, I want to mention a little is different because I touched it a little because sometimes enduring this space is very difficult to do that. But a journal is actually a very powerful experience, experience and spiritual practice. Why? Because sometimes when we write with our hands, well, you can use the computers now, but with your hands on your laptops who are allowed to use a pen or your fingers. So when you're writing that and they let your brain disconnect, your reason and the spirit rings, that brings all the ideas, brings all this guidance that show up. So allow you this. So this practice is founded in the journal experience. So I will do the steps of that. If I invite you, you want to go deeper with the practice, and you can replay this during the week in more detail and stop it, and kind of take the time to journal more in more detail, so you can go in a more deep scenario. So allow me to go into the process. I will leave some space, but I really invite you to use this recorded for a more deep experience. So my my gong already sounds, so it's 6:40. It's the perfect time for start the practice. So I'm going to start some music. Please let me know if you can help me to how in the other side is the music is playing, and we start with the practice, the finding your way. For now, let's find a comfortable position. Let's take a deep breath to release everything and allow the presence, the recognition of the presence to take over our lives, over beings. Take a deep breath. So take any situation in your life right now where you may take a decision, may are needed to take a decision, or you believe that it's important to take an action and a decision around some issue. Could be a diet, could be visit a doctor, could be change the doctor, could be let go your partner, could be sign the divorce paper, any aspect. So don't let it go the story. We go in that way, but it just look at all the decisions. The decisions to let go someone we will love so they can progress and move forward. The decision that I need to move forward, that I need to expand. The decision that I'm going to retire, or the decision I'm going to get married, or the decision of if I'm going to have a child. Any decision. Look at them. And when you identify that, if you have your journal and or your paper, write them and give it a name. Give it a name. You can call it like suspicious owl, or separation Sam, or let go win. Any name. It's just to make it a more friendly, more less painful. And now that you identified that that decision with a name. Also, I want you right now take a time to explore the resistance, the fears around that decision. That's what is important journaling. We're going to take a moment to write without any judgment, without any concern. Nobody going to read this, nobody going to judge you. Just write everything that comes to your mind, to your heart. Anything is valid. Everything is valid. The fear is like how am I going to pay my bills? The fear is if I need to change my doctor, that I have to restart again. That was going to do with me if without my partner, my husband, my wife. The fear of feel that I'm going to be disconnected from that loved ones if they go away. Right? Every resistance. Other ones is I don't like change. Why things are to change? As I say, this is going to be very short. I'm not going to have too many space between every activity. So you want to continue explore. I let you explore more and more. Right now is a good time to stop the video. You are streaming later, and take your time. For now, we're going to continue. And now I want you to take all that resistance ideas, all the fears around your situation about that decision. Call Sam, call Helen, call Saul, whatever it is. Create an image of that and that resistance. Maybe it's a boulder blocking, like the one in Indiana Jones, that big rock. Or it's a big wall, like used to exist in Berlin. Or is a glass ceiling. Or it's a very tiny box. Choose an image of that. It's going to be important for us. Or maybe we are here in Arizona, maybe you can imagine a big cactus. Big, in front of you. You choose. Now, so far, we have given a name to the thing that we need to decide. So it's more friendly, it's more gentle, and we have explored the resistance, the fears, and we have visualized them as something, as a boulder, as a cactus, as a little box. And now I want you look at all that list, all that object that you have in front of you, that image. And trying to see, imagine where that ideas, that fears came from. Where so big, where so heavy, where is full of thorns, where it come from. And at the same time, ask yourself, has been this cactus, this boulder, these fears helpful to me in the past? is these fears, is this resistance, and this decision. All these fears have been helpful for me in the past. Now, using the same ideas you find it. For example, it makes me feel more acceptance. It makes me feel secure having a relationship. It makes me feel safe to have all the people surround me close. It makes me feel connected with others because we share the same stories. It makes me feel all these fears, all this resistance on my decisions. Makes me feel that it's something that I really know. It's been useful because this is the way I've been grown. I was raised in that way. It's all I know. Now I want you to look that and bring it to the present. How all these fears in relationship with that you need to decide or take action on is useful for you right now. Because maybe it helps me to control make me believe that I'm in control. And make me believe that this is what it should be. It makes me believe, give me a sense of security or safety. And now you take a deep breath. And you are streaming this, again, you can stop in this moment. And go deep and journal and write whatever comes. Now the next step. Now imagine or considering what will be different about your life if you relinquish this fear or resistance, or at least remove a little the power over you. What it might change about your life. You're having a partner that is very controlling. What will be the sense? Maybe more freedom. Maybe you can breathe. Maybe you can use that shoes that you really like, but your partner not. Maybe you can have a more strong relationship with the ones who are moving out and living a life more fuller because you are living your life fuller too. Maybe this new doctor is more friendly, more knowledgeable, good listener. They have a different opinion. And when you're thinking of how the things could change, you see that image that we designed to represent these fears and resistance are getting shrink and shrink and getting small and small until the size that you can hold it in your hand. It's small and small. And I want you to think. Take a deep breath. Another deep breath. And take your friend decision. The name that you talk, it's Sal, Helen, Sam, is that decision. It's your friend. And taking that little object, the cactus, the boulder, the little box, tiny box. Take another deep breath, and slowly both of you are blowing. And these fears, the resistance are so small, sort of diminished by the power of the change, the power of the opening of the good decisions, of the good possibilities, that it flows away. Blow. Now you are with your friend. That decision, that action that is needed is your friend. And you are clean up all these limitations that was divided your union, your friendship. They are gone, or at least diminished. Now I want you to take that action or that decision, that friend, and say to them, thank you. Thank you. And now I want you imagine that surrounded by a light, but the light that comes from you, from your heart. And that light is the guidance to move, to take action, to decide, including if the action is no action. What it means is just to rest until everything gets clear, until everything gets, it feels more gentle, more loving. And now with that light, let it go. Let it go also your friend. Let it go all. Take a deep breath. And bow. And now you are sure that whatever is needed to know in order around your friend, your decision, your action, It will be given, and you will see it clearly, loving, in a gentle way. And now you see that your fears and your resistance are diminished. And maybe they're around you, but they are not that strong. They are losing their power over you. So as a Reverend Sherry will say like yesterday Sunday, it's all about consciousness. It's all about to be mindful. And it's when we open the space, releasing, including the decision, the action, and the fears, we open ourselves to receive the guidance, the love, so that we can move ahead in a better direction. So we are at the end of our session. Again, if you want to journal this, you can do it and stop in every moment, have a very image. If you want to paint and describe the image in your journal, do it so. The important thing is that we are returning to our power, to ourselves, the power that belongs to us, that is come from God. And that's what the invitation of this practice. So thank you all of you for participating. Thank you for your message. Thank you, Reverend Sherry. I appreciate. Thank you. And I will see you next Monday, all of you, with another practice inspired by Sunday's talk. And I see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And see you next week. Yeah, there we go.